What's up, folks? James Sanders with THGR Fitness here, and today we're going to talk about how to take consistent and accurate body measurements to keep track of your progress along your fitness journey beyond just a scale. So all you're going to really need on this one is something to write with, a piece of paper that you can consistently jot down your notes on, and a fabric tape measure, which you can get at any local fabric store or in many cases even your local dollar store. Now on your fitness journey, one of the most important things to keep in mind is always being consistent. And that is the same when it comes through with your measurements, because you want to keep yourself inspired and motivated. You want to make sure that you are consistently measuring accurately for your body. And there are particular areas that we look at in the fitness realm to make sure that you are measuring properly, that you can gauge where you're coming. So we're going to start by measuring our bicep. Now when you measure your bicep, one of the things that you want to make sure that you're able to do is find the peak of your bicep. If you can't find the peak of your bicep or the highest point, then what you'll need to do is measure from the base of the shoulder to the end of the upper arm, so right at that inseam where the arm folds at, and just take halfway in. So when measuring yourself, what you're going to do is take the 0 point on your tape measure. In most cases, it's the end that's capped off by a metal piece. You're going to set that where you can actually pinch it and hold it with one finger, flex the bicep, and bring the opposite end of the tape measure back around to meet that same 0 point. And then you're just going to place your finger right at the point where you stop the measurement. And you jot down that same number that you measured up, and of course the date you measured it. You do the exact same thing on the opposite side. Once you've done that, then we're going to move to the chest measurement. Now measuring the chest, you want to measure directly across the nipple line. So you're going to start with the tape measure around your back. One of the tricks that I like to do when it comes to measuring myself is I take the tape measure up my back and I actually pull it as far as I can while keeping good grip on the 0 end, and I pinch it under my arms. If you pinch it under your arms, that allows the arms to relax down and also enforces the engagement of the lats into the measurement as well, because you want to include them when measuring across the chest. Just like with the bicep, you take that 0 end, you set that firmly against the chest, bring the opposite side of the tape measure across, placing the finger right where that 0 end meets the other end of the tape measure, and again, you jot down that measurement. Then we move down, going right to what we consider as the waist, which is your abdominal measurement. When you're measuring that area, you're going to actually find the portion of the abs or the stomach that goes right across your belly button. Should be a pretty easy marker for you, but you'll set that 0 point of the tape measure on the belly button, wrap around the body, including those love handles if you have them, and pinch right again where the one end of the tape measure meets the 0 point. Take that measurement, jot it down, and that will be your actual waist measurement. Now with many people, they go and they measure what they consider their waist based upon their inseam of their pants. You don't necessarily want to do that here. You're going to measure your true waist for this type of an actual measurement and for this type of progress. So from there we go down to the hips. It's very important to include the thickest part of the butt in the hips. So you set the tape measure actually around that end first. Once you've got that thick point of the butt, you bring the tape measure around the front, bringing the opposite end across, pinch, and measure in right where the 0 meets the tape measure and jot down that measurement. When you move down from there, we're going to the quads or the upper legs. The upper legs or thigh area. The simplest way of doing this is you measure up from the center of your knee to the thickest point of your leg. Once you've found that point, you're going to turn the tape measure at that point, wrapping the tape measure around the back of the leg, pinching at the 0 line, and then jotting down the number. Now it's important that when you jot down that number, that you also jot down how many inches up you measured from the knee, and you track that with your measurements. This ensures that each time that you measure that area, you're measuring the same area, especially since your body is going to go through compositional changes, meaning you're going to lean out, and the thickest area on the leg may not be the thickest area by the time you're finished. You're going to repeat that exact same thing on the calf, measuring down from the middle of the knee to the peak of the calf. And if you can't tell the peak of the calf, just like with the bicep, then you measure a specific distance straight down from the middle of the knee to the top of the ankle, and you take all the way up to the thickest portion of the calf from there. Jot down how many inches down that is and track that just like you track how many inches you measured up from the middle of the knee to measure your thigh bone. That's it. It's that simple for measuring accurately with your fitness journey. So what you're going to have to do is make sure that you keep accurate. You want to keep consistent and measure yourself in the designated times based upon your goals and based upon your program. Make sure you get your nutrition in line. Keep your activity level where it needs to be and watch out for those results. If you have any questions for me, make sure you drop them in the comments. Otherwise, till next time, train hard, get results.